but this is my first time actually in their neck of the woods, and I'm so thrilled to be here. And anyway, this class is going to be more like a luxury trunk show, show you some new products that Kimberbell has, and tell you a little bit about my background and my story. Because, you know, I live it every day, and I go, I guess that's kind of interesting. But I know that other people have loved listening to how I got to where I am today. So, anyhow, that is that. Now, I have a new little remote here. Let's see if it works. Hold it up.
Is it on?
It is. It says it's on. It says it has a full battery.
You pointed up this direction?
Is here on our main stage. Behind me we have Christopherson of Kimberbell Designs from Maywood Studios. She's just about to start her lecture, so I want to make sure that you guys get to tune in for that, but I'll be popping in and out between her, and then we'll have Vanessa Christensen from V&Co coming up a little bit later. Go check that B-cam.
My favorite, I'll just let it do its scene. The quilter's parrot, yes. We would never talk like that to our sewing machines, would we? Okay, so I figure I'll give you a little bit of history, and this history would not be what it is without introducing you to another one that looks just like me, my identical twin sister. Yeah, I am 2 minutes older, though. Always a reminder of that. But her name is Chris, and we watch each other's kids, and we did that. It was so fun. The kids, they pretty much knew who we were. Parents never knew who they were talking to. But soon enough, after we started having children, we decided to retire from teaching and stay home with our kids, but we still wanted that creative outlet. Okay? So I started making these name pillows, these personalized name pillows, and selling them on eBay, of all places. And so customers would send in their child's name or their grandchild's name. They'd tell me the colors of their bedroom, and I would put it together and sell a name pillow. Well, fast forward many more years. This is my twin. And we created an online web show called the DIY Dish, the DIY Dish. And this was a show that we did for 4 seasons. And what we would do is we would do crafting and sewing and quilting demonstrations at this little craft table here. And I have the best story to tell you. Now, she hates when I tell this story, but she's not here. So I'm going to tell you this because it's pretty funny. So if you ever think that you can't get exercise while you're sewing, I've got a solution for you. Are you ready? She would always sit, she's just maybe a half a minute shorter than I am. And she would sit at the side of the table with the sewing machine. So whenever there was a demo to be done with the machine, she would be the one putting the fabric through the machine, and I would be talking. Well, because she was a little bit shorter and we were at this craft table that was about this high, we both had to sit on stools. But her foot never reached the pedal, okay? So she came up with this brilliant idea, voila, that if she just put it between her thighs, yeah, that every time she squeezed those thighs, the sewing machine would go, and then she'd let go. I'm not kidding. And she would squeeze it to go, and then she'd let go. Right? Does it kind of remind you of something? The Thigh Master? Right? Yeah. Now, why she didn't think to just put, a book underneath the pedal and raise it up? No, she wanted to make sure she got in that exercise, right? So there you go. There's your little tip for the day. Yeah, the Thigh Master. Now, doing the DIY dish gave us a lot of really cool opportunities. One of them being that we got to be on the Nate Berkus show. Do you know who Nate Berkus is? Yeah, that was a really fun experience. And then Rachel Ray called and wanted us to come and do some demos on her show. So there was a lot of really cool things that came out of doing the DIY dish. But out of all those things that we did, what do you think has been the number one question that we've been asked? Not how's Rachel Ray, not how's, what's it like being on Nate Berkus. The number one question we've ever been asked. Are you related to the Osmonds? Oh my goodness. So we do have the big teeth, and we have the dark hair, and we're from Utah. Yes, but no. I just say I'm a little bit of country, and she's a little bit of rock and roll, and we call it good. So today, we fast forward many years. Up here in the top right-hand corner is the Kimberbell headquarters. So this is where our location is in Logan, Utah, and she owns my girlfriend's quilt shop, also in Logan, Utah, and three locations in Utah that she owns. So it's fun to be in the same industry, but we have our separate businesses. So a few years back, I had the great opportunity and blessing in my life to have Maywood Studio. And I say, hey, let's get together, let's do a fabric line. And that has been a great opportunity for Kimberbell to create fabric that is fun and whimsical and inspiring. And this has been a real blessing in my life to have that combination of the two companies. So that is what my focus is on today, is what I've done with Maywood Studio in the most recent few months. Now, I've designed fabric for anything from Halloween and Christmas. You might have heard of Broomhilda's Bakery, or Jingle All the Way, or Make Yourself at Home. But today's focus is on the Make Yourself at Home. Okay, so without further ado, one more.
There is surely something nostalgic about the place we call home. I love remembering tiny handprints, licking the spoon, the sound of laughter at the dinner table, and handmade quilts to wrap around those we love. Kimberbell's all-new decorative quilt features a cheerful assortment of applique and embroidered blocks, including houses of all styles, cozy sofas, homey sentiments, and more. From the build-your-own neighborhood bench pillow with coordinating bench buddies, 2 kitchen tea towels, and the block party table topper. The bonus projects provide endless creativity for decorating your home. Make Yourself at Home is permission to prop your feet on the couch and rest your head on the pillows. It's the kindest way to say, you are always welcome here with Kimberbell.
Heartstrings, because how many of us make quilts just for ourselves? Keep it all to ourselves. Rarely, right? We make them for other people. We make them for those people that we love, right? And isn't there something really special about not only the giving of that quilt, but the process or the journey of making that quilt? Because I guarantee, and I know you can relate to this, is that when you're sitting at that sewing machine, you're thinking about the person that you're going to give it to, right? That's what we quilters do. And those who machine embroider, and those who sew, and those who hand stitch, we're doing something that brings us joy, but we're also doing it because we are thinking about the person that we're going to give it to. And that's a really special thing. We're givers as, people in this industry, I think. So when I think about make yourself at home, and I started to create this fabric collection, I thought, okay, what are the parts of home and family and love and things that I feel when I want people to come to my home? I want them to feel welcome. I want them to feel loved. I want them to feel cozy with a quilt. And so that's how this collection came to be. So there are a few highlights of this. Now, all of our patterns in the past year, there is a feature quilt, which is the Make Yourself at Home quilt that you just saw, and then we have bonus projects as well. Oh, there we go. Just like this. There's a book for a sewing version, and then there's a book for an embroidery version. How many of you machine embroider? Okay, about half. And then how many are like, no way, I want to do it with the fusible applique? Okay, great. Well, we try to appeal to both audiences that way. And so what we've done with these books is that all the fabric that is in the Make Yourself at Home collection, it's fully illustrated in these two versions of the book. So to give you, I know it's hard to see up here what the quilt looks like, and we are going to show it here in just a minute, but here are some of the highlights of it. If you've ever done Kimberbell projects, you know that I love dimensional detail. I love the little extra. I love the surprises in a block. That someone can go up to the block and go, oh, look at this and look at that, and oh my gosh, look at here. And so I'm going to show you some of those details. This in particular is showing you that you're learning how to do chenille succulents. And you can do that on an embroidery machine, by the way, too. In fact, let's see, where's Joy? Joy. Okay. I failed to mention you, Joy. Joy's my right-hand woman right here. She's our business-to-business manager at Kimberbell, so she's here with me. And Joy, would you mind holding up this quilt?
We also have a real Missouri Star representative.
A real Missouri Star representative.
Well, on the volunteer side.
Awesome. What's your name?
Edwina.
Thanks, Edwina. Okay, so here we go in person. So what you're seeing up here on the screen is this couch right here. There are poofy couches. Poofy couches! How cute is that? Poofy! You know what makes them poofy? A little bit of foam underneath. So we put some foam underneath, and then we embroidered or sewed on top of it, and it makes them poof out with texture. And then as you see here, there's a dimensional bench pillow, because we do a lot of bench pillows at Kimberbell, that says make yourself at home. So that actually sticks off of the quilt. Here is where the chenille succulents are. Right there, and there's another one somewhere. Okay. Here's another poofy couch. It is this one down here, and its little pillow says hello. Well, check this out. All the part of the bonus projects is a little make yourself at home pillow. Recognize that? Right there. And there's the little hello pillow there. You can make the real sizes as well. And then, this is one of my favorites. This is the quilt hanging off of the tree. But if you're a Kimberbell fan, you know that one of my other fabric collections and quilt project was Hello Sunshine. This is an exact replica of Hello Sunshine that is hanging off of the trees. There. And I promise you don't have to piece every little part of that. It is actually part of the embellishment kit that's available, and it's the replica on there. Yes, yes, you bet. And here's a fun fact for you. Each of the blocks in the quilt is named after an employee at Kimberbell. So I want to introduce you to those employees. Now we have 45 people that work at Kimberbell, and I don't want to say these were our favorite people, and so that they were named after them. But we went through the list and got through as many as we could, and so here is a video to introduce the people at Kimberbell and each block and what they were named after.
I'm supposed to stand here?
Carmen's couch, Ginger's vase, Becky's flying geese, Jeanette's apartment, Kim's house, Kelsey's living, Joy's farmhouse, Abby's tree, Diana's doghouse, Tanya's couch, Mookie's house, Lori's house, Joanna's camper, Stephanie's pumpkins, Jamie's lighthouse, Julie's lamp, Emily's house, Jasmine's pennants, Brielle's couch, Caitlin's Christmas tree, Ryan's tree, Krista's tree, Madison's tree, Beth's tree, Amanda's house, and a whole lot of other people there. Our newest Kimberbell employees. And of course, bloopers.
Man, I did it! That's all I got!
That's my husband, by the way.
Now hold it. Jasmine, I think we got it. We're good. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, they were good sports. When the marketing guys came up with this idea and we went into, they said, oh, just come into the marketing room. We're just going to have you hold up your block and take a picture. And so everyone was like, okay, sure. So they're lighting up into the marketing room and they turned on music and they said, now you have to dance for 30 seconds. Yeah, as you can tell, not everyone was the most comfortable with that, but we sure had fun with that, didn't we, Joy? A few other features with this quilt is we do a Kimberbell applique glitter sheet. If you've ever used our applique glitter sheets, they work like real fabric. And you fuse them and you can sew them and machine embroider on them as well. And so here you have the polka dot applique glitter sheet here. You see it down here in this lamp. There's fringe stitches hanging off of those lamps as well. In the windows, you have mylar, so it looks like it's glistening in the window. And then there's some windows that actually have vinyl to make it look like a window. Is this Amanda's house? I think this is Amanda's house. In this house, in the windowsill are fringed flowers. And that is very easy to do on an embroidery machine. Of course, we teach you how to do it, but we also teach you how to do those fringed flowers by hand if you're into the sewing version. So yeah, anything I missed there? I like some of the sentiments on here. The road to a friend's house is never long, and home is where our story begins. We may not have it all together, but together we have it all. Anyway, okay, so I think what we're going to do is lay that down across the stairs. And so afterwards, if you want to come up and take pictures, we certainly welcome you to do that. Any questions about that? Okay, awesome.
Hand-wash little places. My
Yeah.
family's messy. I mean,
Yeah, this isn't one of those, like, totally wrap yourself up in. I would look at it as an art quilt that hangs and stays on the wall, but certainly just spot wash it. Okay, as I mentioned before, there's two versions, the sewing version and the machine embroidery version, and then there's an optional embellishment kit as well that has the different parts of the fabric, like the quilt and the little pillows. It's got the clothespins and the twine for hanging the quilt, It's got the glitter sheets and the foam and such, so that's also available. Bonus projects on there. I'll just quickly go through those. Let's see, Joy? This one is the neighborhood block party. This just takes 2 charm packs and a little bit of yardage there. And actually, that's small enough we could just pass it around too. And in those windows, you'll see mylar to help it glisten a little bit, and you'll also see vinyl. And then there's some tea towels that are all part of it too. My favorite, if you can read this, dry the dishes. And if I have to stir it, it's homemade. Who agrees with that? Yeah. Okay. But perhaps my favorite bonus project on this, in this collection is the Build Your Own Neighborhood bench pillow. So we have some up here. Now think about what I just said. Build your own neighborhood bench pillow. That means there's a variety of different things that you can do with this bench pillow to make it your own. So I'm going to show you for an example. You've got the bench pillow that Joy's holding up here. As you can see, there are 4 types of houses. You've got the trailer, you've got the farmhouse, you've got the other houses. There's also an apartment building that you can do. I think of the apartment buildings on that one. So in the book, there's 9 different houses that you can choose from because we all live in different types, right? And so you get to choose any 4 of those houses that you want to put on your pillow. You embroider or sew those on and you add it to your pillow. Then there's, I think, 7 different sentiment blocks, meaning this one says home is wherever the military sends us. So that's the sentiment block on this one, whereas this one is home is wherever we are together. There's home is where the haunt is, if you want to do more like a Halloween themed pillow. There's home is where your heart is, I believe. That's more like a Valentine pillow. So just by switching up the sentiment blocks, the house blocks, the colors of the blocks, right, you can create or build your own neighborhood. There's also the accent blocks. So see up here, you've got the 2 flags. So there's, I think, 7 or 8 different accent blocks that you can choose from. So, of course, we have the flags here. This one, we've got some trees with a tire swing. The other one might have some trees. I can't remember. There's stacks of pumpkins. There's wheelbarrows of fall leaves. So you choose any 2 accent blocks, and now you put them all together, and you've created a bench pillow that's all your own. One other thing that I thought was really cool about this particular bench pillow, home is where the military sends us, is that we've had customers who've said, I love this idea, and what I'm going to do is actually embroider the addresses of all the homes we've lived in and where the military has sent us. Isn't that cool? Yeah, and then another gal at Kimberbell who was one of our testers, her husband just retired from the military, and she said, I would need a whole quilt of houses to label all the addresses that they've been to. But that's what she's planning on doing too. So I thought that was a really cool idea. We also had some people do it all of just campers. And they were a camping family, and they used the sentiment block, home is wherever we are together. So there's some ideas there for you on that. But I just happen to have another video about the Build Your Own Neighborhood bench pillow.
There is surely something nostalgic about the place we call home. I can remember my parents' front porch where I had my first kiss, bringing a new baby home to our tiny apartment, watching my boys learn to ride bikes without training wheels around the cul-de-sac. After many years and many moves, we've built a neighborhood of memories. In the tradition of Kimberbell's signature bench pillows, Make Yourself at Home includes a bonus project for you to build your own neighborhood. With an assortment of 8 houses paired with themed, accent, applique blocks, and sentiments, you can create and customize a variety of bench pillows that tell your family's story. Home is where you place your Kimberbell bench pillow.
Thank you. Okay, so that is make yourself at home. Any questions on that? Any of those projects? Okay, great. So one of the other things that I've been really excited about at Kimberbell is this ruler set that I created a few years ago, and just barely in the last year made it come to fruition in the marketplace. But that is called the Orange Pop Rulers. And so I will be doing a demo on these rulers, I think in the Modern Quilt Shop is where they have me. Is it today, tomorrow? I'm just here today and tomorrow. So anytime I'm not teaching, I'll probably be in the Modern Quilt Shop doing demos on this so that you can see what those are. But basically the idea is that when I was embroidering or when I was sewing or when I was even appliquing something with a fusible applique, you always want to start with a block that's a little bit larger than what your finished block is going to be, because your fabric is going to be pulled in, right? If you start embroidering something, it just tightens up that fabric a little bit, and then you never end up with the exact block that you need at the end for your quilt. So you'd have to square it up. But then I was always nervous about cutting off one side more than the other, and I couldn't visually center where I was cutting. Can anyone relate to that? Yeah. And so this is how the Orange Pop Rulers was born. So I'm going to show you a video here on how to use them, and I'll also do demonstrations. But these are made with a polycarbonate. You know what that means? You could toss that across the room and it's not going to break. So that's one special thing about it. But they nest inside of each other at these traditional quilt block sizes. Looks like I don't have the other rectangle here, but I'll show you this one. Oh, yes, I do have it. Okay, so you've got a 4.5 by 6.5 inch block, a 6.5 by 8.5 inch block. You have a 8.5 by 10.5 inch block. Do you see that? Ooh. And they have these no-slip grips on the back, but the real key to them is they have these extended corner channels. So that means when you frame your design, all of our quilts use these, by the way. But when you've done your design and you need to now cut it at that certain size, you literally can just place that on there. You slide your rotary cutter in those extended grooves, and you'll have a perfectly squared block with that centered, visually centered before you cut it. Okay, so let's take a look at how you can use them with a Make Yourself at Home quilt. How do you use them? I'm going to show you.
A classic problem quilters and embroiders have struggled with for years is not being able to see exactly where designs will be cut. The old adage, measure twice, cut once, no longer applies. Simply place it, cut it, piece it with Kimberbell Orange Pop Rulers. Orange Pop Rulers make it easy to visually center quilt blocks and embroidery designs before cutting. Non-slip grips help prevent the rulers from shifting while cutting. For a better grip, simply nest the rulers together. Rulers are clearly marked for cut size and finish size. Clear marks with a 1/4 inch grid and center points. You can use the 3.5 inch ruler to verify the center. The 1/4 inch guide will help you cut for precise seam allowance. The extended corner channels allow your rotary cutter to cut perfectly square corners. Place your blade against the ruler starting in the corner channel. The rulers can be used both right and left-handed. Make cutting even easier and more accurate by using a rotating cutting mat. Square and rectangle rulers are standard quilt block sizes to fit a variety of quilting and sewing projects perfectly. Traditional quilt blocks, machine embroidery, and hand embroidered projects, t-shirt or denim quilts, fun for fussing cutting too. The Kimberbell Orange Pop Rulers take the guesswork out of squaring up your quilt blocks. Less cutting time equals more creative time.
Do you see how that could be very useful? Oh, yeah. And even if you don't do Kimberbell projects per se, these are standard quilt block sizes, and so they can be used on a variety of quilts beyond just a Kimberbell project. but certainly with all of our Kimberbell projects, we use them. And we use them in we call it the lab at Kimberbell, where we test everything and we make all the projects. And we use them every single day. There's not a day that goes by that we're not using the orange pop rulers. And after you get used to them, you go, oh my gosh, what did I do before, right? Right, Joyce? So that's the orange pop rulers. Now, I thought it was fun when marketing said, Kim, you've got quilting friends. Yay, I've got quilting friends. And they were referring to my friend group, and I think a lot of you could probably relate to this. You're probably with them right now, your quilting friends. But we have gotten together every month for the last 10, 11 years. Once a month, we go to someone's home and we talk and laugh and eat and quilt and maybe eat some more and talk and laugh and quilt and eat, right? Because life is just so much more fun with quilt friends who are doing the same kinds of things we're doing. And you share in each other's heartaches, and you share in each other's exciting, triumphs, and, someone had a pap smear that day, and you're like, woohoo, you did it, girl, right? And then someone's son graduated from college. There's all those special moments that you're sharing with your quilt friends. So we decided on this next video to talk about Kim's quilt friends and introduce the orange pop rulers to them. Oh, do I not have that? Oh, bummer. Okay. It's not there. Well, it's a really cool video. And I can show that to you actually at the Modern Quilt Shop when I'm there doing demonstrations. I'd be happy to show it to you because I want you to meet my quilt friends. Oh, there it is.
They're my best friends, really. It doesn't matter how old you are, you still need girlfriends.
I've known these women since our kids were in grade school. We celebrate together and sometimes even cry.
Oh, the stories you would hear if only our stitches could talk.
And when one of us finds a new tool, we all have to try it. Orange pop rulers make it easy to visually center quilt blocks and embroidery designs before cutting. The extended corner channels allow your rotary cutter to cut perfectly square corners. Square and rectangle rulers are standard quilt block sizes to fit a variety of quilting and sewing projects. Traditional quilt blocks, t-shirt or denim quilts, machine embroidery and hand embroidered projects, and it's fun for fussy cutting too. I'm Kim Christopherson, creator of Kimberbell Designs and the Orange Pop Rulers, and this is my quilt group.
I love those ladies. They are so dear and near to me. And how many of you have quilt friends like that? Where you've shared heartaches and laughter and tears and food and techniques and new methods for doing something. And that's what these ladies, they've just brought so much joy in my life. We're all different ages. I've got some of my best friends could have been my grandmother's age. And, and then we're down to now our kids are growing up and now wanting to be part of the quilt group because they're, in their early 20s. And so anyway, it's really an amazing thing, isn't it? And I feel like, you know that feeling because Jenny, Missouri Star, exudes that feeling, right? Whenever you listen to her talk about quilt friends and what quilting does for the soul, that's Jenny's whole message about quilting. And that's how I feel about my quilt friends. Okay, so what's next for Kimberbell and Maywood? Two things I want to share with you as we close. First, you have a gift from us. Did you all get the gift on your thing? Does anyone have it in front of them? Because I want to show you something special about this. You're the only ones that have this, by the way. Okay. So I created this special wall hanging for you. Home is where you hang your quilts. And guess what quilt is hanging from it? Make yourself at home. So I'm going to pass that around so you can see that. But in it, you should have, Maywood has given you the fabric to create the front of that, I believe, in the binding. And then we've added of course, the pattern, and then you've got the quilt panel for make yourself at home, the twine, the clothespins, and such. They've also included some charm packs, I believe, mini charms to do the borders. So that is our gift from Kimberbell and Maywood, because you're all quilters, right? And home is where we hang our quilts. So enjoy that. And then one other thing as we close, you want to see a sneak peek? Let's show you what just got released at Quilt Market, which means this is not in shops yet, but I know for a fact that Missouri Star is getting it, okay? So watch for it in the next few weeks from Missouri Star. But this is my new fabric line with Maywood called We Whisk You a Merry Christmas.
Kimberbell has just whipped up a new feature quilt of Christmas confections and bonus projects. We Whisk You a Merry Christmas welcomes you to our cozy kitchen with a cheery assortment of 30 quilt blocks, including aprons, stand mixers, cookies, canisters, sentiments, and more. Our Baking Memories apron features a Christmas tree to decorate with coordinating holiday buttons. The over-the-edge applique pocket holds recipe cards or a sweet surprise. Gather your family around the table set with the Tied with a Bow pocket placemat. The over-the-edge applique present holds utensils, while the other gift includes a loop for a merry napkin bow. Stitch the 2 tea towel designs to hang in your kitchen and make adorable gifts for neighbors and friends. From sharing recipes and family stories to giggles, sprinkles, and licking the spoon, we celebrate this most wonderful time of the year as Kimberbell whisks you a Merry Christmas.
There it is. So excited about that. How many of you love gingerbread men? Yeah, kitchen, whisks, yeah, all of the goodies, right? So here it is in person, right here. And I'll talk about some of the embellishments with that. So over here on the canisters, it's chalkboard fabric, actually, so that you can write in sugar or flour or cookies or whatever you want to call it. Then we've got our Kimberbell applique glitter sheets for the little peppermint, so it really makes it sparkle there. We put foam underneath this cream on top of the hot chocolate, and of course mini marshmallows, which are white pom-poms. Then under this little vinyl is a cupcake with a little peppermint button, again with the Kimberbell applique glitter sheets. Then we've got the whisk. It's got a little rickrack bow there. We've got the applique glitter sheets across to add a little bling to the mixers. All you need is Lovett's Christmas cookies. We whisk you a Merry Christmas, and all of these are Christmas cookies. And then we have the row of aprons, all with little pockets that are actually pockets on them. And you've got a little spatula sticking out of this pocket, and you've got a whisk sticking out of this one. But when you come up and see this up close, I want you to take a close look at the buttons that come on here. The buttons. Because the buttons match the cookies that match the fabric. Ah! Can it get any cuter? So, I know, I'm crazy. But, you know, the buttons look like cookies. Here is a look of what comes in the embellishment kit for this. Again, Missouri Star will have this very soon because it doesn't get released for about 2 to 3 more weeks. But it'll have the buttons and the pom-poms and the glitter and even a chalk pencil so that you can write on your chalkboard fabric everything that's on that quilt. Then it's got some bonus projects, of course. So this tea towel says, sugar and spice make the holidays nice. And I don't know if you can tell there, you've got the glitter in there to look like the spices and the sugar, and then you've got vinyl on top. We'll pass that around. In fact, we've got two of those, so we can pass them on both sides. And this one, Christmas calories don't count. Public service announcement. Okay. And then this apron, this is kind of wrinkled here, but you'll get the idea. So we used foam underneath the tree before we stitched it, so it poofs out. Can you tell I like poofy? And then we added more of the cute little buttons that match. So those are also sold separately on their own. And then we put in a pocket that looks like a present there. And then, as you saw in the video, we have the placemats. And I don't have a napkin in here. I could grab my tissue, right? And the napkin, of course, goes at the top of the present to look like the bow. And then the silverware gets tucked into the Christmas present. So that's what that is. So that's We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And I think that is all. Thank you. Okay. So we are going to give you a placement card. When I went through and made this little project, I said, you know, there's one more thing I think that would really help people a little bit more with this pattern. And so it's where to place the trees. So we're going to add that to your kit. So make sure you grab one of those that I thought would be a helpful tip for you. Okay. Questions? Yes.
There are 2 Missouri Star Christmas in July retreats.
Yeah.
Followed by 2 trunk shows and things like that.
Okay.
Is there any chance that they'll have a machine set up with your software so that we can try doing some of this during either?
Well,
it would sure be nice.
The people that make that happen are probably around here somewhere.
But I mean, I would love to try.
I would love for you.
Because I don't have a machine embroidery.
Yeah. Now it can be done with sewing too.
I know, but I mean, I would love to
be fun.
Try it. And
yeah.
There are 2 retreats that are Christmas in July.
Okay.
Followed by.
You know, I don't know, but I think that's a great idea, and I'll even talk to them about that.
Would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yes.
Kimberbell, do you have like a disc for the machine embroidery or flash drive?
Yes.
Or?
Yes. So when you get the machine embroidery version, we have right here. It will have a disc on the front that shows the disc is included. Okay. So you see that in there? Yeah. It's always goes with the look of the book. But yes, that's in there so that you can then transfer it to your USB to put on your machine.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes.
How washable is the apron?
Oh, yeah, very washable. Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good. It washes well and irons well. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, feel free to come up and take pictures and have a great day. Have fun at your other classes.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are just joining us, we just finished a wonderful lecture from Kim Christopherson of Kimberbell Designs from Maywood Studio. She shared some great projects and a sneak peek of her upcoming line that we will be carrying here at Missouri Star in a few weeks. We are at our Missouri Star Academy event. We do this every year here in Hamilton, Missouri, where we bring so many wonderful instructors from all throughout the quilting industry here to Hamilton, and we have classes for 2 days, and you get to rotate through and just learn and see what's going on in quilting. And so up next, we wanted to make sure we share some of that fun with you guys. So we just finished with Kimberbell, and up next we have Vanessa Christensen from V&Co. She'll be doing a trunk show of some of her ombre quilts. So it's going to be super fun. We hope you guys will tune in with us, and we will hopefully be back again later on Thursday as well. So if you didn't get to catch all of it today, we're going to share more on Thursday. So we hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Hey everybody, it's Misty. Welcome back. We are here at Missouri Star Academy. If you're just tuning in, we are in between classes right now. We just finished up with Kimberbell from, with Kim from Kimberbell Designs and Maywood Studios, and we are getting ready to hear from Vanessa Christensen, V&Co is how you might know her, with her wonderful ombre fabrics from Moda. And so she will be on in just a few minutes. And so if you're not seeing a video or you're just seeing our Missouri Star Academy logo, that's why. We're just waiting for her to get everything ready. But this is so fun. This is our Missouri Star Academy. We do this every year here in Hamilton, where we bring all of the great instructors from throughout the quilting industry here, and you get to take classes and learn from them and be inspired and do make and takes. It's so much fun. And so we are just having a great time, and we wanted to make sure that we could share some of that with you guys. So we will have, this is our second class that we'll be broadcasting live from our main stage here in Hamilton. So if you missed it, we'll leave this up through the weekend, I believe, so you can see Kimberbell's lecture that she gave, and then Vanessa will be on in just a minute, and we will be back live again on Thursday. So stick around. Vanessa will get started in just a minute.